Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Meek again. I'm back home now. I've been back for 2 days or so. I got a little cold when I was coming back to Dar, and I swear I feel fine. I sound like I'm ill, so just ignore the way I sound and don't be like, oh, you're ill, hope you get better. I swear I'm fine. But I wanted to explain why my voice sounds like this. But I'm so excited. I want to talk about what happened at Big H. We have so much to get through. So let me show you what I purchased at Hermes. Let's start off with some of the pieces and then we'll talk about the experience. So without further ado, let me just open everything up. I haven't opened anything. I wanted to wait to show everyone here. Obviously I know what I bought, so let's open. Everything, by the way, was purchased at the Sevra boutique. I didn't shop at any other stores this time around, although I did go to Faubourg, but we'll talk about that later. So you know, there's this. Packaging is so cute. Ooh, this is cute. Oh, this is adorable. So this is one of the Soleil mugs. I don't know how well you can see it. I'll add some pictures in later if you can't see it that well. So this is one of the Soleil mugs. Just pull it out. It's this one here. It's this one. I'll add in some photos as I said. So I got this, which is really cute. This actually looks way nicer like in real life than it does like on the website. So that's the first piece that I got. The next piece is here as well. Another homewares piece. Let me show you. I do love their homewares. I want to say I do love it. Oh, okay, this one. Let's talk about this one. So this one is the H Deco mug, or if we're saying in French, H Deco. It's beautiful. This is actually going to be for Edwin, and this is meant to be also like a unisex piece. So if we have men or women visiting our home for whatever reason, we have guests who are men and women, I think that this is very unisex. And I think like both men and women can use this, like if they're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. But also this is going to be for my husband, because he was when we went in December 2021, January 2022 is when I bought my Balcon du Guadalquivir mug, which I used this morning as well. And like, I don't know, like something which I just really like this, because I think black is a very like unisex color. It's neither feminine, it's neither masculine, it's like for everyone. So this one here, so put that one down. God, the packaging is always like top tier with this brand. Okay, this piece, let's talk about it and let's open it up and see what's in here as well. So always fun opening their boxes and stuff. It's another piece. It's another homewares piece. I do love their homewares. And it is this Soleil mug. So it's actually very different from the one, I'll take pictures of both so you can see. It's this one here. This is really, really cute. I must say this is just like, and we know how well made their stuff is, but even like mugs, when you see them, you're just like, even their mugs, like the attention to detail is really there. And yeah, it's really, really there, and it looks really good. So it says Soleil de Hermes. At the bottom, it has this beautiful like print and everything. Okay. They used to have on the mugs, they used to have like the artisan's mark. Oh, I can see the artisan's mark down there. Okay, for the Ash Deco one. Okay. All right, now let me show you what else. Oh my God, just a second, because it's kind of bulky and pulling it out. Now let me show you what is in here, honey. Let's talk about what's in here. Let's just open it up straight away. I'll be dainty about it. This is, of course, a ready-to-wear garment. So this is the packaging. I believe that they give full garment bags. If you like buy like a coat or a jacket, I think you get a full garment bag. But I think if it's just like a shirt or something, which obviously this is the shirt, it'll be something like this. So let's look at it, shall we? This is a like polo shirt. It says Hermes, made in Italy. And this is, of course, for you know who, my husband. So I won't open it up further than that. I'll just quickly show you because I told him, I was like, I got you a gift from Big H, but I'm gonna unbox it first on my channel. And he was like, okay, whatever. Here it is. It's just this really beautiful polo shirt from Big H. The color is called marine in French, which obviously means marine. Okay. And then let me just show you two. I also got some perfume samples, but I don't feel like they're worth opening. They're just like random perfume samples. But I want to show you some makeup that I picked up from Big H as well. And these were just like literally at the end. I told SA, I was like, oh yeah, the makeup. She was like, okay. This is new. This lipstick is new. Comes in this packaging. Like I said, I'll take some pictures so you can see it. It's a beautiful color. It's like it's like a brownie taupe color. It's a nice nude color. I can wear this to the office. This is cute and pretty. And then there's this. Don't worry, that's the packaging falling to the ground. It's not anything. That's super important. The lipstick is just fine. And then I got this. Sorry. So this is cute. I got the lip oil as well. Beautifully packaged. It's so stunning. And the color is Rouge Amarelle. It's just a beautiful lip oil. I love vibrant lip oil colors. Okay, so those are all of the things that I picked up at the Sevra location at Big H. So now I want us to talk about my experience of shopping at Big H. I'm going to try and not like go on and on and on so that this video is not too long, and because I don't want to like bore people with like my stories here. But basically, let's just get straight into the video. So on day one in Paris is like last Friday, but on a Thursday I was in Paris, obviously, right? I mean, Thursday I was in Berlin. I applied for the lottery. It went through, but the next, at night, I got the rejection email to say that I didn't succeed. So Friday, I arrived in Paris. I'm meeting my cousin there. And the check-in is at 3, and I wanted to go change my outfit before we went to Sevra, and put makeup on and stuff. So we go to the Louvre, we go to Angelina, we go to the Pyramid of the Louvre. And then we're like, okay, fine, we'll go to Sevra like in the evening then. So we go to Sevra in the evening on Friday. It was absolutely rammed. I wasn't ready for how busy Sevra looked. So if you're new to my channel, I was in Sevra December 2021, January 2022. So that was like the store that I shopped in, but I shopped in all 3 stores last time. This time around, I only shopped at the Sevra store. We get there at 6 p.m. on Friday, and it's really, really busy. It's full of people. I saw so many people walking up to the leather desk asking for cancellations and appointments and being told, no, you need to apply online, go apply online. We don't have any cancellations. So this is around 6 p.m. The boutique is closing in about an hour. There are a lot of local clients. So if you have never been to Paris before, Sevra is the Sevra boutique is 17 Rue de Sevra, so Sevra Street. And on that street you have like a lot of flats. There are a lot of people who live in the area, and then there are also like, you know, just businesses. There was like a local church that we walked past as well. It's very much like a residential area where people live. So it's not like where Faubourg is, like the Rue Saint-Honoré. The Rue Saint-Honoré, there are people who live there as well, but the Rue Saint-Honoré is really like a very touristy shopping district, whereas this isn't touristy at all. It's like where people live. So there are a lot of French people who were there, who maybe were coming after work and popping by the store. It was so full at ready to wear. I was so shocked. Honestly, I wasn't ready for what I saw on Friday. I was there with my cousin. I was telling my cousin, like, oh my God, it was not like this when I came. When I came, it was busy, but it wasn't that busy. Because I feel like the end of 2021, the beginning of 2022, it's like the world was recuperating from C-19 and things were kind of getting back to normal, but it was busy, but it wasn't the way it was this time round. My cousin saw a woman like ask for a leather appointment, and then they rejected her and blanked her, and then She called a friend like on FaceTime, and she was being really loud, speaking in English, saying, oh, I tried to ask for a bag and I got rejected, and now I'm buying a scarf. And she was like yelling into the phone. It was like so cringe and embarrassing, and I was just cringing hearing the story. There's also a man who got offered an Evelyn that he rejected. There were a lot of male essays that day when we went there. So we go there, we're just looking around, and I want to buy bait. So I'm just looking around to see if I can get the attention of any essay. There are a lot of male essays there, and the whole time that when we were shopping in the store, we'd always separate from each other. We'd walk in together, but we'd separate from each other, and each person would shop alone. I think that if you're two women together, your best chance is always like to shop separately from each other and not to shop together. You probably will like get further that way, because I think that when they see women together, they think that you're resellers. So we like shopping separately, and then I see this like male essay who I make eye contact with, and I felt like he was approaching me because I wanted help at Hermes, and then this woman came and like took him away, literally. Like this other client, she sees like everyone is fighting to get the attention of male essays in particular, because everyone knows what we kind of all know to be true, generally speaking, across the board for all brands. I find that generally speaking, male essays tend to be more helpful to women shopping alone than female essays. Please don't get triggered and get upset. This is my YouTube channel. I'm going to say the things I want on my YouTube channel, girl. Okay? It is what it is, and this is just kind of how I see the whole thing. And I think it is the case, but everyone is trying to get the attention of the men who work at Big H. Like all women shopping there, whether you're married, you're single, whatever, are trying to get the attention of the male essays who work at the brand. So it was really, really hard this time. Last time, you know, I like so many men approached me last time when I was shopping at Faubourg and Sevres, and you know, even George Sank, like, hello, can I help? Can I help? Can I help? This time around, like, you were hunting them down and trying to get their attention. Then at one point I go to Ready to Wear just to see like what's going on at Ready to Wear, and then there is a like French couple, and I was kind of just listening to their conversation. Like I said, if you're new to my channel, I would say that I can speak like advanced French. I'm not fluent, but I can understand it. My written French is okay. A French person can't talk about me and I'm standing right there and me not be able to understand and reply. I can definitely reply and be like, hey, don't talk about me, like I'm standing right here. But I wouldn't say I'm like super fluent at the same time. Anyway, there's a French couple, and they were sitting at Ready to Wear. Ready to Wear is rammed with people. I was not ready for how Ready to Wear looked. Like Ready to Wear was so busy, it was so rammed, and this French couple was like, oh my god, like the wife was like, oh my god, we need to buy more things, and the husband's like, oh, you know, the husband just looked at her like, girl, like we've already been buying bait. And that's when I was getting concerned, because I was like, oh my gosh, if French clients are playing the game really hard, it's getting very competitive now. At this point, when I'm listening to the French couple, and I know it's naughty to kind of listen in, I was walking around Ready to Wear looking for myself, but they were speaking really loudly. I don't think that they cared anyone could hear what they were saying. She was like, you need to buy more, and he was like, you know, look at her like, girl, like, let me stop you right there. That's when I was like, okay, things have changed at Sevres now, because it's really looking competitive, it feels competitive. I remember when I went there, literally there was no one at Ready to Wear. I remember going there, no one at Ready to Wear, no one looking at clothing. I went there at a very busy time as well. Like that particular day, I remember when I was at the Sevres store, no one was looking at clothing. And this time around, everyone is looking at clothing, and it's Friday evening. And like Friday at 6 p.m. and everyone is at Ready to Wear, like looking for clothing to buy, obviously to build profiles so that they can get the leather appointment, or so that they can have a better chance of scoring. Now, this was day one, and that was Friday, so I was starting to feel a little bit like, okay, no one is even approaching us, people aren't saying hello. And I literally remember when I went there the previous time, this female essay approached me, literally like, you know, I was looking at some mugs and I looked, and then, you know, like at Big H, if you don't know, let me tell you, at Big H, you don't touch any of the like displays of anything, let alone bags, forget that, even homewares, you don't touch anything. So I was looking at the like big H mugs and plates and stuff, and then she came over. It was literally like 1 minute, and she came over. This time around, we looked for ages in all of the wooden globe things, and no one approached us, and no one approached me, except that man who I had signaled like, "Hey, I need help," and then this woman came and took him away, like another client. So that was day one, and that was Friday, and I was like, okay, now it's getting really competitive. I was like, I'm not going to buy anything today because I can't get anyone's attention, and it was almost closing time. I said, let's go back there tomorrow morning. So I'm a little bit like concerned now because I'm like, I can see how competitive it is, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's really competitive now. I only had 3 Hermes days, meaning I had Friday in Paris, Saturday in Paris, Monday in Paris, and I was leaving on Tuesday morning. So I only had, you know how we call it, you know, you have business days and working days. I call them Hermes days, where the lottery system is working and when the shops are open, because obviously it's not open on Sunday, and none of the stores are open on Sunday anyway. So then the next day is Saturday. So we get up really early. We create a game plan, my cousin and I. So the game plan is to start at the Sèvres store in the morning, and then go to Faubourg afterwards. The whole time I was in Paris, we never went to Georges V. We never went inside Georges V. I made that decision because I previously, when I went to Georges V in December 2021 and January 2022, I didn't really have a good experience. I felt like the SA was just trying to get me out of the store. Like in a lot of these boutiques in Paris, like after you buy something, if you tell them you just want to look around, they kind of leave you alone because they respect that you've purchased something. Definitely at Louis Vuitton, they will not like rush you out of the store. Like I felt like she just wanted me to leave the store, and it was a very unpleasant shopping experience. I know that Georges V has worked out for some people, and if I ever get the lottery there, that's great, but it wouldn't be like my first choice of places to shop. It's just not me. I think also I love big boutiques that where you can discover and roam and look at things. I think that's why I love the Sèvres store, and I love the Champs-Élysées flagship for Louis Vuitton. So we never went to Georges V, and that was a decision I made, and I don't regret that decision because I don't believe that Georges V would have, I just don't believe that even me going there would have made a difference, to be honest. So that was Saturday morning. So yeah, we have breakfast, then we go to Sèvres. First thing we do is we go to Sèvres. So let me tell you what happened. So we walk in Sèvres, there was a man who was standing outside, like the taxi pulls up in front of the store, we leave the taxi. There's actually now I think there's like a greeter for people who come by car, because this did not happen last time when I went there with my husband. We came out of the car, we just walked into the store. This time, there was a man who opened the passenger side for us, like, and he works for Hermes. So I thought that was interesting. So we walked in, the security guard says hello, whatever, and then they're like essays at the beginning. They're like, bonjour madame, bonjour. Some of you had told me that they are greeters now who ask you, what are you looking for? No one asked us anything. We walked in, they just said hello to us, then we start milling around. And like I said, we walk in together, and then my cousin went to look at beauty products, and she went to the cafe, and then I went downstairs to homewares and pret-a-porter and all the rest of it. So we separated in the store. So then, now we first, before we separated though, I'm just saying generally speaking, whenever we went to an Hermes store, we'd always separate, but before we separated, we walked to homewares, we're looking around, so we could see lots of bags on display and stuff. And then when we get to homewares, there's like a client who's finishing up with these 2 female essays. There are male essays everywhere, and everyone is trying to get the attention of the men who work at the brand. I'm literally telling you now, if there's one male essay, they're like other women, female clients looking at that male essay, like, how do I get to that man? How do I get that man to notice me because I want to work with a male essay? So then we're like standing around in homewares, we're looking at things, and then my cousin's like, no one's approaching. I was like, yeah, no one's really approaching us. It's hard now to break through because no one's like approaching and you're looking at things. Then finally my cousin goes over to the client finishes in the homewares globe that we're standing in, and she leaves, and then there are 2 female essays talking to each other. Then my cousin approaches them like, oh hi, we need help, and then one of them comes over, and this is the essay who will now be like my essay, and we'll call her 17 because I believe the address for the Sèvres boutique is 17, like 17 Sevres Street, or 17 Rue de Sevres, so we'll call her 17. Okay, so 17 is like, hello, hello, and I'm like saying, I said hello to her in French. This day I was like, I'm going to speak as much French as I can until I'm struggling. And like I said, my French is not fluent, and that's not me trying to be like, oh, you're trying to be so humble. It's not like that. My French isn't fluent, but it's advanced, and I can order things in restaurants, and I can go to church and listen to a priest speak in French in a mass, but I wouldn't say I'm particularly fluent in terms of speaking that well. But I did my best that day. So we spoke. Her English was amazing, and she spoke perfect English either way. So she's like, would you like to speak in French or English? I was like, oh, let's do both languages. So then we're speaking, and that's when I was like, I was like, oh, I'm looking for Soleil, which is here. So this Soleil mug was available, okay? And this was the Soleil mug that was on the display. It looks so gorgeous on display. And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for Soleil. And she's like, okay. So she goes there to get it. She opens the drawers and she brings them out. I see Passifalia. I'm like, okay, Passifalia as well. So I'm like, okay, 2 Hermes Soleil, like mugs. I was like, oh, I'll get the H Deco one for my husband, and then I was like the Passifalia one as well, because I remember the FSH essay that I met, who was a man, by the way, in December 2021. He tested me with the Passifalia mug, which is more expensive than the Balcon de Guadalquivir mug. So I saw the Passifalia one, I was like, oh, it's so pretty. I was like, I'll take that as well. Now at this point, it's going well, but it felt like it wasn't enough, until you start asking. So I was like, oh, and then I remembered, but I remembered that on Friday, I remember seeing a rack of men's ready-to-wear near the Homewares wooden globe thing, where the Soleil section, where the Soleil mugs are. So outside of that wooden globe on the right, there was a rack of men's shirts that were just sitting there. None of them had prices. And then I was like, I should go buy a shirt for Edwin to build my profile. He'll love it. Also, it was his birthday recently, so great. All of this works out. And I did tell Edwin, like, oh, you have, ready-to-wear piece from Hermes, and he was like, great. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm looking for menswear. The moment I said I want to buy a menswear shirt, the energy, the mood changed. She was perfectly fine before. She was pleasant. But it was kind of like, this person's just buying mugs. And then when I was like, oh yeah, and the shirt, that's when she's like, okay, would you like to come with me? And then she's like, where did you learn French? I was like, oh, I did an exchange in Fort-de-France and Martinique, but I was like, my French could be much better. And then she's like, oh, okay. She's like, come with me, madame. Would you like something to drink? I was like, what do you have to drink? And then she's like, we have these. Their juices are so tasty, by the way. They have these really yummy juices. And then she's like, is there anything else you like? Is there any other ready-to-wear you're looking for? I think at first she thought I wanted to buy it for myself. I was like, no, this is for my husband. And she's like, your husband's here with you? I was like, no, he's not on this trip. But I was like, we'll come back together soon. So then she takes me to the menswear section, which, by the way, there are no other clients there. Everyone is at women's wear looking for bait, and this is Saturday as well, right? So she sits me down, she offers me the drink, and then this is when she starts doing the sort of the sales, the kind of sales pushing. She brings out this shirt, which is a polo. Sorry, I just keep dropping packaging on the floor, just ignore that. She brings this out. She brings out another polo, which has this weird purple color. It's kind of creepy and weird. I'm like, no. And then she brings out this beautiful, very, very soft cotton shirt, which was 990 euros. I'm going to tell you guys how much everything was, because I just realized I didn't say. So just quickly tell you, the Soleil mug was 155 euro. The H Deco mug was 104 euro. I have the receipt from Big H, but this is the one from the tax-free form, because I got everything validated, for the refund. The H Deco mug was 104 euro. It's called Polo Bouton Pique de Canton Marine in medium. It's 440 euros. Another Soleil mug, 155 euros. The Soleil has gone up. It used to be 145 euros. And then the lipstick was 73 euros. That used to be 68. And then the lip oil was 56 euros. So let's say my total loyalty was just under 1k euros total loyalty, but let's just round it up and say 1k. So then she's like really trying to get me to buy the pricier one, and I'm like, okay, this is nice, but I was like, let's start off with this one, because I was like, we'll come back to buy more clothing anyway. So I was like, well, I'll take this one. And then she's like showing me other things, and then she's like, she's like, oh, do you want to like buy some things for yourself? I was like, what sizes do you have? Now at this point, we're speaking in French, and in my head, I'm like, how do I say? Because I wanted to tell her that I have shopped at Versace before. Versace's clothing runs small. We were going to go to Moschino later on that day after Sevres, and I was like thinking in my head how to put it in French, and then I was like, oh, at Versace I'm like an Italian 46 because I have that crop top. So I did tell her that. Now, I know you might be like, oh, you're kind of being name droppy. I think name dropping probably isn't like a cool thing to do, but I think it can work if it's relevant, because we were talking about ready-to-wear sizing, because I asked her like, do you have a 46, like an Italian 46? And she's like, our sizes go up to a 44. 46 is rare, but it happens, but it's very rare. We don't really get that size. I was like, okay. And then she's like, what size are you? And I said, I'm a 44 in France and for a 46, but it depends on the brand. And then that's when I was like, at Versace I wear 46. She's like, oh, okay. So she was like, 44 could work for you then. And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, then she's like, she goes away again to like look for other things to show me from men's. And I was like, oh, I want to also look at women's wear. She's like, okay. So she's like, okay, you just look around women's wear, I'll find you. I was like, okay. So I go to women's wear. I'm milling around, there are lots of people milling around there. I see two women who were so well dressed. I remember getting a message from one of my subscribers who was asking me, do you see like a lot of people in the store who are from the Middle East who are wearing the hijab? And I said, when I go to Paris next time, I'll make sure that I look out for that. These two women were really, really stunning, and they were wearing these really beautiful hijabs and these fur coats, and one of them was wearing like a fur gilet from Fendi, and she had like a Chanel exotic bag. She looked absolutely stunning, and I think they were together. I think they were relatives, and the other lady was wearing this ombre lizard Kelly dance. I was shocked at the beauty of that bag. I know everyone's like, oh, the Kelly dance, but my God, the bag was really beautiful. They were milling around. I think they had an essay and they were waiting for their essay, and this was like in like shoes/women's wear, because at Sevres, women's wear and shoes like feed into each other. And then there were some other people trying on shoes. I heard this one woman be like, oh, I'm going to buy these shoes. Can you help me get a bag? And the essay was like, no. And then she asked her, like, do you have like a business card? So I can make an appointment with you. She's like, no, I don't have a card. And that was like in English. And she's like shutting this woman down. Okay, now the essay comes back and we're at women's wear. She's like showing me other stuff that's really expensive. They had some of their like spring, summer, super bright stuff. I'm asking her questions about women's wear. I pretty much know anyway, but I think it's good to ask questions because I think it shows that you're very interested, in the brand. So I was like, when I was like, you guys have a catwalk show coming like for Paris Fashion Week? She's like, yeah, we do. But isn't that autumn winter? She's like, yeah, it's autumn winter. It's like, okay. I was like, when's that going to be in the store? And she's like, oh, I don't know when that's going to be in the store. Hold on, wait, let me go ask for you. So she goes away again. Again, I'm still at women's wear, still milling around, looking. There's an in the loop bag as well. That's at women's wear. There's a lot of beautiful pink ready to wear. There's a sort of like not a cash wrap, but there's like this section behind women's wear where there's a lot of packaging and boxes and stuff, okay? So I'm still looking around. There's a woman looking for ready to wear at the same time as me. There was like it was kind of like I don't know not a jacket, not a cardigan, but it was like 3,000. There was a beautiful pink leather skirt. It was absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. And it was like 3,000, 4,000 euros. It was stunning. I have no need for like a pink leather skirt in this weather, but yeah, it was really, really like beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, I just love the pink. And then she comes back, and then this is where it gets interesting. I'm like, oh, I really love pink and stuff. When you have pink ready to wear in my size, like you'll let me know. Like when I come back, you'll tell me if you have it, because that's like my favorite color. She's like, okay. And then she's like, oh, by the way, madam, do you have a profile at the Sever store? Because after I had said, before we had got to menswear, after I said that I wanted a menswear piece, she asked me, have I ever shopped at Hermes before? I said, oh yeah, I have. By the way, I came in December and January, and I shopped at Faubourg. I didn't mention I'd been to Sever, like directly. I was like, oh, like in terms of shopping, but I was like, oh yeah, I shopped at Hermes before at Faubourg and whatever. And then she's like, oh, but have you, and then when she comes now at women's wear, she's like, oh, but have you shopped here before? I was like, yes, I have. And then she's like, can you tell me like your name? And then so I'm like, oh, my name's really long, let me write it out for you. So I write out I write out my name, and then she's like showing me on the phone thing, like the device where like the profiles come up, and my name comes up and it's like Madame Kakamuti Bajuga, and there I am, honey, okay. And then she pulls me up and then she can see like all of my purchases, like, and she wasn't hiding it from me. I was standing right next to her as she's pulling up my profile, so I'm looking. I don't know if other people would probably look, but I was like, hey, I'm gonna be a little bit gutsy today because I was just curious to see if my profile was there. My profile was still there. She looked me up and she's like, oh, you shopped at all the stores? I was like, yeah. And then she's like, okay, fine. And then at this point I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's possible, but I wanted to ask you, like, do you think it would be possible to get bags today? And she was like, oh, all of the appointments have already been allocated. Have you been trying online? I was like, yeah. And she was like, that's not going to be possible today. But she was like, you did say you were going to come back. You can make an appointment with me and then we can go from there. Now, at this point, because she had said this, and I felt like she said it in a perfectly nice, friendly way, I decided not to push too hard because I feel like when you're shopping there, you don't want to look really desperate. There are a lot of desperate people at the Sever store. I haven't even started talking about Faubourg. I'm going to talk about Faubourg in a second. Many people are so desperate to get the bags and are begging for leather equipment, literally begging. Not going on their knees to beg, but they might as well because they're asking so hard. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, cool. So she was like, I will give you my and then she was like, I'll give you my contact details. And then you can make an appointment with me when you come back, because I said I was going to come back in spring, summer. So I'm thinking April, May, I'm going to go back there. And then she is like, okay, so you're going to take the shirt, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll take the shirt, but you can leave the Passifilia mug because I've already taken 2 Soleils and the H Deco. So she's like, okay, fine, I take the Passifilia off. Now, at this point, she's going over all of the things which I have committed to taking. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I need beauty products. Can we go upstairs? So we go upstairs together. There's some other clients milling around, looking at the makeup and stuff. And then she's like, oh, we have new lipsticks. I'm like, okay. And then I pick out the lipstick and the lip oil. And then we go downstairs and then she's like, okay, I just want to double check everything. And then, yeah, so she goes through it and then she tells me like, okay, fine. And then at this point, I'm feeling a little bit like, I'm feeling good that she has said she's going to give me her contact details. And she said, when I'm back in town, make an appointment with her directly. So I'm feeling good about that, but I'm a little bit nervous because I'm starting to hear from a lot of my subscribers that Paris essays say that and then just disappear and then they don't like respond to messages or texts or emails, and I'm starting to feel a little bit worried about that. So I wanted to make sure in French that I heard her correctly, that it was okay to contact her for a future appointment where I can pick up other things and obviously, inquire about the leather handbags that I want. And she was like, yes, it's fine. Sorry, my camera died because I've been talking so much and so passionately about this topic. So the cashier essay, who I believe is also an essay because I could have sworn I saw her helping a client on Friday because I was pretty sure I recognized her because I'd seen her before. So she was like, oh, I can go get your things because the 17 is taking a long time. Like I've paid and I'm waiting, it's taking a really long time. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then in my head, I'm like, oh my God, 17 has tricked me. She's come with it on a Pegasus horse, honey. And she has pulled a trick on me, bibbity bobbity boo, got me to buy all of this bait, and she promised me her card so I can contact her for a future appointment, and now she's tricked me because the cashier SA is going to give me the card. This other SA will give me the items, I beg your pardon, but I'm not going to get the card from 17. And then the SA, who's a cashier but who's also an SA, comes back again after 5 minutes saying, oh, 17 is coming. I was like, okay, and it seems like she knew her because she said her by her name. And then 17 was like, hey, I'm sorry about that. I was just getting your things ready. She put everything was packaged beautifully. And then she's like, and literally I'm about to be like, okay, cool. And I'm going to go and I'm coming back, remember, and I'll make an appointment with you. And she's like, and then she just beat me to it. She's like, when you come back, you make an appointment with me to get other things. I was like, okay, cool. And then she's like, bye. Leave the store with my cousin. Then I go find my cousin. Well, then we leave the boutique. Okay, so we leave the store, then we go to Moschino, great experience there, I'll talk about that in my Paris haul, and then we go to Faubourg. Get to Faubourg, Faubourg's busy, lots of people milling around the store, lots of clients, it's very, very busy. But when an SA walks past you, they say hello, but they don't stop. Like, there was one SA walked past me, like, bonjour madame, I was like, hello, I was about to say, be like, oh hi, I want to look at things, and the person just walked away, probably dealing with another client. I decided not to buy anything from Faubourg because I was really building my Sevres history now, so I wanted to try and make things work there for my next trip. And then my cousin goes to buy something, she got a scarf ring. So she goes there to get something from a scarf. And then I am looking at this place. So I stay on the ground floor. I don't go upstairs the whole time of the trip. I just stay on the ground floor and looked at ready to wear, looked at fashion jewelry, and then looked at the display cases with bags. So lots of interesting things. So a woman being offered a pink Birkin 25 in ostrich. It was really beautiful. That was just out in the open. It was near this display case where the steeple bag was. Just, people watching her get her offer like it's nothing. So lots of beautiful yellow bags. I guess because spring is coming, they want to have lots of beautiful spring fresh options. So there was like a yellow Birkin 25 in ostrich, there was a yellow picotin, there was I think a picotin touch as well. Lots of beautiful bags. There was a mauve in the loop bag. There was a Della in this really beautiful like lime, it was like a really beautiful green, it could have been Vert Fizz. There was a croc Ruly in this fresh minty green, again probably Vert Fizz, really, really beautiful. There were lots of bags on display. There was like a massive bag in 35 as well in gold. Just look at my phone, so I have lots of notes. I don't want to miss out anything. So then I'm just looking around, minding my business. I see this like a pair of women, and they're asking an SA in French. They're French and the SA is obviously French, and they're asking him, like, do you have bags? Asking him about bags, and getting a leather appointment. And the SA says in French, c'est samedi aujourd'hui, which means it's Saturday today. And what he means is, he can't get them an appointment because, appointments have been allocated. The same speech I was given. And then, like, when I was there just looking around, there were just so many people who are resellers. It's so obvious, like, who all the resellers are. I feel like the resellers are just like look really annoyed and miserable, but are carrying Birkins and Kellys, and they just look really angry about being there, and they're like, it's just so obvious that there's so many resellers there, which I think also makes it really hard to get walk-ins if you're a genuine client. Beg your pardon. Now, let's talk about how many lottery attempts me and my cousin did. I did 3, rejected for each one. My cousin did 2. She was rejected for each one. So 5 attempts between both of us, rejected every single one. The rejection emails, one came at 2:30, the other came at 12:30 a.m., and then another one came at like 12:03. So when you start, they seem to come late, then they come earlier and earlier. That's something I've noticed. The first day when I was applying from Germany, I chose all stores. The second day when I was in Paris, I chose no preference. And then on Saturday, we tried something new. She chose Faubourg for Monday. I chose Sevres for Monday, of course. Rejected. Rejected, as usual. Now, I want to talk about like just some general points and takeaways. I hope I'm not like rambling on and on and on. A lot of people in the Hermes scene say it doesn't matter what you look like when you go to the store. Don't believe these people, they're lying to you. They're lying to you so that they can sabotage your opportunities at the boutique when you go to 24, Sephora or George Sank. People look so well dressed, people look really, really nice and very polished and sleek. I saw people with Lady Dior's, I saw like exotic bags. I saw people with Chanel ready to wear, Fendi ready to wear. Like, people look really good. You need to look good. You know, I know that many people say like, oh, French people don't like overdress and whatever. You know, I don't think you should worry about that. You need to go there and look like money and look like you're ready to be taken seriously, because I feel like so many people there look so nice. You're not going to stand out if you just look like ridiculous and you don't look nice. You should look nice. You don't have to wear logos if you don't want to, but you should look really nice. The second day when I went to Sephora, the day that I got the contacts of the SA, and the day that the SA was like, yeah, you can contact me, we'll make an appointment when you come back, I was wearing my Versace jeans couture top, this coat from Edwin, his wool coat, which I was wearing in the whole vlog. I wore these earrings from Louis Vuitton, these Louisette earrings, and I also wore the Versace pink Medusa sunglasses as well. The people who say it doesn't matter want to sabotage people's opportunities at shopping in Paris. You need to look serious, and you need to look like money, seriously. My cousin looked really nice as well. She had a really nice outfit, and she was carrying the Chanel reissue, the Jumbo. And also the bag I was carrying, I bought the Longchamp pliage in pink, and it was the leather pliage, not canvas. I saw a lot of women in the store with the canvas pliage as well. So at the end of the day, people look nice and people are wearing nice things there. Something which I noticed when I went to Sephora on day 1 and day 2, so Friday and Saturday, was the fact that fine jewelry is really busy now. Again, last year, fine jewelry wasn't busy, no one was really checking for fine jewelry. This time around, I saw people queuing, people waiting for attention. There was a man buying a watch at Sephora on Friday. There was a French client on Saturday talking to an SA. They've moved fine jewelry. Before, when I went there, it was just in the back of the store, but now it's in one of the homeware globes and the back of the store. There was a 65,000 euro watch. They had some rings as well. It's getting really competitive now because people are trying to buy fine jewelry so that they can build their profiles to get bags. One of the biggest challenges of shopping in Paris, and one of the biggest challenges of understanding how the Parisian offers are given, is there's a real lack of transparency amongst the people who regularly shop in Paris. Seeing that I went there for the first time last year and at the end of 2021 and at the beginning of 2022, and I've come back this year. For however long I will shop at Paris, I will be transparent about my experience, because I think that there's a real lack of transparency. I want to give a good example. I was reading some things on social media about people who shop in Paris, and there were some people who were like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter what you pick up, it's not about that, da da da. If it didn't matter, why would Big H have all of these really beautiful handmade homewares if it didn't matter? If it didn't matter, why does Big H have a beauty line? Okay, why does Big H Honey and her wig have clothing and have menswear and women's wear? Why are they doing catwalk shows? It does matter. So for the people to say it doesn't matter, it's to create this lack of transparency so that people go to the boutique and fail. If someone tells you that in Paris it doesn't matter, but you have gone and you have seen like what I saw and what my cousin saw, it's so obvious that people don't want other people to succeed at the boutique. And I find that super annoying, and that I'm not going to be part of that. That brings me on to my next point. In the Paris scene, there's a minimization of loyalty. Many people are minimizing the amount of loyalty that they show in Paris because they want to seem like they're special, like they don't have to do what everyone else is doing, but they are, but they're doing it in a different way. I want to give an example. In this one group, I saw someone say that she didn't really pick up items and she got it back in Paris. But then in another post, she said that she had picked up pillows. Their pillows are pricey, and blankets, and some of their blankets are a few thousand euros. Like, that absolutely counts for your profile, and that makes your profile look really good. So why would you minimize, that loyalty? So that just kind of goes back to my point about trying to sabotage newer clients to the Paris seen, and you see this all the time in groups and social media, people say, oh, I'm not a VIP client at Hermes, I'm not a big spender at Hermes. You don't need to be a VIP client or a big spender to have value to any of these brands. They will happily take our money. So I really find it annoying when people say things like, I'm not a VIP, or I didn't really pick up items. You still bought something. If you went to Big Cage and you bought a non-leather good, you bought anything that isn't a Birkin, Kelly or Constance, you have shown loyalty to that brand. So I think it's just super important. I just wanted to get that out there because it just drives me absolutely mad. I think the cadence and pattern of the way you show loyalty in Paris matters. Did you buy it all in one day, or did you buy it across several days? I think that this is a huge deal. A lot of people focus on the fact that, oh, I spent X amount of loyalty. People focus on the amount. Stop focusing on the amount. I'm not disagreeing that the amount is a lot of money, but don't focus on the amount. Focus on the way you're showing loyalty. Are you going from store to store? Because that's not going to help you. In Paris, loyalty is to the boutique. You need to stick to one store and show the loyalty there until they deliver for you, or if they have delivered for you. It's really, really important. And you might look at my loyalty and be like, well, Kagem's spent X amount because I've been transparent about everything that I got. And she got an SA contact, and the SA said to contact her is fine, to make an appointment. The SA said she can make an appointment with her directly for an appointment, but she only spent X compared to other people. Don't compare me to other people, because I don't know how other people have shown loyalty. Other people show loyalty over a period of time. Some people maybe go to Paris for 1 week, they show loyalty on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and they're picking up bits and bobs. And then cumulative, they have maybe 15,000 euro worth of loyalty. Okay, fine, I had just about 1k euro worth of loyalty, but it was all purchased in one session with one person. That's a little bit different compared to someone who's going to one store, buying one thing here, one thing there, one thing here, one thing there. The pattern of the way you show loyalty in Paris, I think, matters. Your profile is important at the brand, and I think your previous purchases do matter a lot. Non-leather goods, by the way. I don't think leather counts at Big H in Paris at all. So like Bastiers, Calvis, things like that. I don't think that they count on your profile. But I think your previous loyalty really does count, because I noticed that, like, definitely she was warming up to me once I said I wanted to pick out a menswear piece for Edwin. But once she saw my profile, she saw my previous purchases, like in December 2021, January 2022. That's when she was like, okay, really getting friendly. And like I said, that's when she said, yeah, when I was asking about bags, and she was like, okay, not for today, the appointments have been allocated, but she's like, I'm going to give you my card, you can contact me when you come back next time. The profile really, really matters. So I think if you want to be a Pegasus unicorn, I just don't think that this channel is for you, because I don't really cater to, I don't create content that's about going to Big H in Paris and trying to get a Birkin, Kelly or Constance without picking up items. I think you just have to go there under the understanding that you will be picking up other items when you're there. The profile is incredibly important, and you need to pick up other items. There's no question about it. Now I want to talk about the lottery. I think that the lottery is, uncharacteristically, I'm not going to be very undiplomatic here, I think the lottery is completely calculated and planned. I don't think there's anything random about the lottery. There, I've said it. If you want to think it's random, you can think that. I don't think the lottery is random at all. And that's all I'm going to say about the lottery. But as I said, 5 rejections between me and my cousin, 3 for me, 2 for her, and they all the rejection emails came from midnight to 2 p.m. Across the time that we were there. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm going to be doing now, like my future plans for me personally. I'm going to go back in April/May. April is my birthday month. I wouldn't want to ruin like my birthday trying to get a mini Kelly in Paris. Like, I can't think of anything more stressful. I want to enjoy my birthday to enjoy it. I'm probably going to go to the UK for my birthday. I think that's what we're doing this year. But obviously if I go to the UK is so close to France, there's no question I'll want to go to Paris as well. So We're going to go to the UK for my birthday and then probably pass through Paris, and then I'll pass by the store. So that's going to be April, May, because my birthday is in April. So what's the plan this time around? Let's talk about it. One of you asked me a question, actually on Instagram, that I wanted to answer because I thought it was a really interesting question. And I want to answer it because I think this question will help you understand what my situation, and how my situation is very different from everyone else. The question I got from one of you, Benny, you asked me, hope you had a great trip, or we do a strategy update with Big H shopping, time to pivot. No, I don't think so. At least for me, I don't think so. I don't know what country you guys are in, but obviously you guys, I'm in Tanzania, in East Africa. There's no Hermes in my country, obviously. There's not even an Hermes in Morocco and South Africa, and those are the two countries that have luxury stores on the African continent. The closest Hermes boutiques are in Abu Dhabi and Dubai in the UAE, and they're two of the most competitive locations in the world to be an Hermes client. So I don't think that I'm going to change anything, because I don't think I've done anything wrong. If anything, I think I'm doing things right, because the first time when I went, I was so delusional. I was following really bad advice. I didn't really understand what was going on. I really was so delusional. I had no idea that people were really picking up a lot of items in order to get the attention of the SA. This time around, I got a contact, so I have 17's emails and her phone number, and she was like, it's completely fine to contact me to make an appointment, and I'll see you, when you come back, because I did tell her I was coming back in April, May. She's like, okay, great, you make an appointment with me and I'll see you then. I was like, okay. So I think if anything, I have made positive changes. It's just a slow, I'm not in a rush, basically. If it was going to happen this trip, that was great, but I had 3 Big H shopping days. I arrived in Paris on Friday, and by Tuesday morning I was ready on the plane, heading back here to Dar. There wasn't a lot of time. It was also Valentine's weekend. One of my followers was like, oh my god, you've done well to even get a contact, because it's Valentine's weekend, it's so busy. Because I told people on Instagram I wasn't successful, but I did connect with 17, whatever. The person was like, oh, you're so lucky that you got a contact, because it's Valentine's weekend and everyone is begging for appointments. So with the people who follow me in my Facebook group and Instagram, it's just a playful phrase we use. We call it begging, meaning going to ask for Black and Kelly's and Constance's at Hermes in Paris. If you have gone to ask for a cancellation, you have done a form of ultra luxury begging. Everyone is begging. So I wouldn't think necessarily that I'm going to change anything, but definitely next time, if she doesn't offer me a BKC, and honestly it really needs to be the thing that I want. If she doesn't offer it to me in April/May when I go back, I will definitely have to cut my losses, I think, at that boutique, and then go to FSH and rebuild my profile at FSH essentially. So I think that is something which I don't know, I just kind of feel like I feel like the situation with shopping at Hermes is there's so much misinformation about shopping in the Paris stores, because only the people who are more likely to get the unicorn experiences are the ones who will share their story online, whereas people who have failed many times won't. People who are doing it maybe the way I'm doing it, they went one time, they weren't successful, they didn't get a contact, they go a second time, now I have an essay, I have 17 at Sever, whatever, and she told me, I can make an appointment with her, and now I have someone, who, a real person who works at the brand, who's my connection, that the people who have a similar trajectory to me are not going to come on YouTube and talk about it, because people want to seem people want to share the success stories, and that is normal. So I feel like this is fine. I'm not particularly worried. And I think because I only had 3 Big H shopping days, there wasn't a lot of time to get a Birkin or Kelly. I just didn't have enough time. So I just came for a long weekend, and then now I'm back home. But April/May, I will have more time. I definitely will be in Paris for at least 6 days, for sure. So that will give me significant time, and 6 Hermes days, excluding Sundays as well. So I will definitely have enough time next time when I go. I think that you need to also understand the way someone shops in Paris, For a lot of people, it's about scoring then and there. For me, because there is no Hermes in Africa, I'm not really in that much of a rush. Another thing is, at least for me, I don't know about other people, I'm very specific about the things that I like in the brand. Big H is very popular for many reasons, but the reasons why I like Big H are not the reasons why many people like the brand. Many people talk about craftsmanship and all this stuff. I've already told you guys, I'm from a country with a very deep history of leather artistry and artisanship. In pre-colonial times, people would, the indigenous people of Tanzania, of modern day Tanzania, would take animal pelts and make coats and for the chiefs of tribes and things like that. So in my country, we have a deeply rooted history with leather and animal skin. So that's part of my culture. So the craftsmanship thing is great and beautiful. There's no question. I just showed my housekeeper the mugs. She thinks they're super beautiful. And that's not to say that they're not, because they are. But what my interests are when it pertains to Big H is more the exotic skins and leathers, like I said. But also, if we put the exotics to the side, because after going to Dior, I think I'm pretty much buying a Dior or Louis Vuitton exotic instead of Big H this year because it was such a great experience. But I really love like the colors. So pink is my favorite color. I love all of the pinks that they do. They have a new pink this year called Rose Pop. I'm super excited to see that one. And those are things which, I really, really like about the brand. And I also love like the more special bags. So like the Shadow and the Cargo bag kit and, the Kelly doll. I think that things which are a little bit more edgy and a bit more special, those are the things that I like at Big H. But I wouldn't say that I focus too much on the craftsmanship thing. I've already explained why. And also, I don't focus too much on the fact that they make like these really beautiful neutrals. I don't really like neutral bags, generally speaking. I would only buy one if I have to. And also, I think other brands do neutral colors really well. Like Louis Vuitton has got beautiful neutral colors as well. So my reasons for liking the brand are a little bit different, and they're very long term. So I'm not in a rush, if that makes sense, compared to maybe other people who maybe would go. It might be other people, who would go there and expect to score then and there. I'm patient and I can wait, because if I started shopping in December 2021, January 2022, and I asked for cards last time, no one gave me a card. This time I went back, picked up beads, I got a card, and I'm going to make an appointment with an SA when I go back there. So things are improving. It's just going to happen in its own time. So I've been filming and talking, so my camera keeps running out of battery. So like I was saying, the bags that I'm interested in are bags which many people like, but I think that with all the effort that it takes to shop at the brand, you should just get what you want. So Mini Kelly, Kelly Pochette, Kelly 25, Celliers. I don't think the Kelly Pochette is a Cellier, but that's the only exception. I like the Birkin 30 in a Cellier as well. But then if we put those to the side, I really like the more special bags. So like the Shadow, the Cargo, the Kelly doll, the Picnic Kelly, the Picnic bag, and those are the ones that I really like. So those are the bags that I like, and they're just a little bit different. They require much more work. I'm pretty sure you could not walk in and be like, hi, can I have a picnic bag in without picking up items. I just don't believe you can. I don't believe you can walk into any of the 3 Paris stores and be like, can I have a picnic bag or a Picnic Mini Kelly without loyalty. I just don't believe that. So I don't mind working towards those, and I don't mind if they take time, because Paris isn't far. And now Air France will be flying directly to Dar es Salaam from June onwards, so they'll be doing like direct flights, which is great, and that will just be like 8-hour flights. So I'm patient, but in terms of the next trip, the April to May trip, that is definitely the trip that I hope to be successful at the Sevres store. If let's say I go there and the SA that I met is no longer working there, I'll definitely go back to Sevres and be like, hey, I was supposed to have an appointment with 17, and if they say, 17 doesn't work here anymore, I'd be like, okay, can you find me a new SA, because 17 said I can make an appointment with her. I still feel like you need to kind of advocate for yourself a little bit, and you shouldn't be afraid of that. Let's say I go there and 17 doesn't respond to my emails. I wouldn't mind going there again. If 17 ignores my emails, I would just go there and be like, hi, I was supposed to connect with 17, but I haven't heard back from her. Can you connect me to someone else? because this is, at the end of the day, this is so cutthroat, so there's no point putting your feelings in it. You know, one of the most interesting kind of themes about shopping in Paris is many people are like, you need to find an essay that you click with. You know, I don't believe this. I'm sorry, I just don't. The Paris stores don't operate like your home store. A lot of you are from North America, you're from the US and Canada. I feel like the idea of having a relationship is more something which we see in the North American boutique. So my followers who are from the US and Canada are the ones who tell me more about the relationship thing. It's not really a relationship in France. I wasn't trying to like ask her about her life. I didn't ask her about her at all. She's the one who was asking me, because I'm not trying to be her friend. I'm just trying to build my profile at Big H and to be successful at the boutique. That doesn't mean that I'm rude, no, but I mirror people. I think that in France, it comes across as like really obvious that you're trying to kind of suck up to the person to get a Back and Kelly or Constance. So you're trying to befriend them and make them your friend and suck up to them so that they give you something. And I think it just comes across really obvious. I think the best thing is to go there and to show loyalty. If you're a Pegasus unicorn and you win the lottery and you've never picked up an item and you get what you want, good for you. But most people are not going to have that experience. So yeah, like I said, so we'll go back April, May, try with 17, and I'll make an appointment with her and I'll ask her again. If 17 ignores my emails, doesn't make an appointment with me, or doesn't come through for me, I will move on from the Sevres location and I will go to FSH and I will go to a regional store. I think it's just going to require work. 17 seems like she's gonna make it happen. I think that 17 could make it happen, because I was unsure about 17 if she could come through for me for April or May, until I saw the way she was selling me the ready to wear, like the way she was trying to get me to buy the more expensive cotton polo for Edwin. That's when I was like, okay, this is a sales essay right here. This is an essay that knows how to sell honey, and she doesn't play. So I feel like 17 will come through. So I feel good about April, May. Let's see what happens. Hopefully she doesn't ignore my emails or my messages or anything like that. Hopefully I do make the appointment with her and it comes through. One of you asked me a question privately: do leather goods that are not bags count in Paris, like Bastias, Calvis, the Burn? I do not believe that they count unless it's an exotic. So I think the exotic SLGs count, like the Lizard Constance Slim Wallet, the Lizard Burn, the Croc Burn, the Croc Kelly wallets, which are 15,000 euros, they're an absolute fortune. They count absolutely 100%. I think that the exotic SLGs and exotic leather accessories count. So like the Lizard Kelly Double Tour, the Croc leather bracelets, I think those count. I do not think that the normal leather things count. So like Epsom Bastion, Calvi, the normal bands. Maybe I think the Kelly wallet might count a little bit, but not massively. I wouldn't like really count on it, but it might count a little bit just because it's a bigger piece. What future bait am I going to look for? Okay, so the future bait that I'm going to get is I'm going to continue with ready to wear, pick out pieces for Edwin, timepieces, and pillows. When I got home, I was looking at the sofa. I was like, oh, I want to buy Louis Vuitton pillows, and I also want to buy some Big H pillows. So pillows. I'm going to be traveling to America. I was thinking about getting the pillows there, but then I was thinking maybe I should save them for my Paris profile because it'll make my Paris profile look really good. I was also talking to one of you and we were talking about the French regions. I'll have more time in April and May, so I think I'll have time to go to one regional store. Although going to a regional store, I prefer to try under Edwin's profile because I wouldn't want to ruin anything going on at the Sevres store just in case like 17 comes through. But we'll see what happens with 17. 17 seems very direct. She seems like she's a leopard, let's put it that way. So that's good. We'll see what happens. I'm open-minded, but I'm also not particularly emotional about this. I think that's the only way to shop at the brand. Because I think if you put so much hope into their promises with no back-end Kelly or Constance offer, it's hard because you can only really trust once you have gotten the offer. So that is basically everything that happened to me at Hermes this weekend. I was just there for a weekend, a long weekend in Paris. Go follow me on TikTok. I've put up some Paris vlogs, and go follow my Instagram, and also go join my Facebook group. It's linked below. I think if you're really love Big H, you will love my Facebook group. There are a lot of people who shop at the brand and who are very successful at the house in terms of scoring, and they're all in there sharing advice and helping people. So go join the group, is linked below, and of course go follow my Instagram and my TikTok because I think you'll like it there. But anyway, I'm happy. Honestly, I'm happy. She could have said, no, I'm not going to give you my contact. No, I don't have any cards left. No, I don't have this. Like, those are the things I was told last year. Oh, can I have your card? No, 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 no. But this time it was like, yes, you can have my card. Yes, you can contact me. Yes, we'll make an appointment. So let's see what happens in April/May. So I think what I will do in April/May is maybe like a week before getting there. No, a week seems like a long time. 5 days before arrival, I'll email her to be like, hey, I'm coming to Paris. Can I make an appointment with you? And then wait to hear back from her. Let's assume she doesn't respond. I'll still go back to Severin and be like, hello, can I be assigned in USA? Because my loyalty to the boutique will still count, if that makes sense, because that's what I was told by a French client of the brand, is that it's tied to the store in Paris, not to the SA. So the loyalty that I've shown the Severin store would still count. So let's say she doesn't respond, I'll just go straight to the store and try and find someone else. If Severin doesn't work out while I'm there, I'll go to FSH and also go regionally. So I feel good about my chances this time around because I'm just slowly building my profile. So I'm like building my profile in order to get to the Birkin or Kelly offers. I prefer to get the Kelly or Birkin in Paris. I feel like the Constance is a bag, which is still a quota bag, but I feel like I could also maybe even get it if I go to other countries, like if I'm traveling this year. So my hope would be for the bags that I've already mentioned to you, but let me just repeat them one more time. The Mini Kelly, the Kelly Pochette, the Kelly 25 only in a Cellier, or the Birkin 30 only in a Cellier. I don't like Raton bags, and I would not buy a Raton bag. The only Raton Birkin I would buy is like a pink one with gold hardware. Like I don't mind compromising on certain things, but I just don't want to compromise on the Raton thing. I just really like Ratons, and I don't like Ratons, that's what I meant. I don't like Ratons, I really like Celliers, I don't want to compromise on that. I would love to answer your questions. If you have any questions, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go follow me everywhere on social media. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the weekend in my next video.